Kodak invented the future and then did everything it could to stop it. That's not an exaggeration. That's the tragedy. Because the company that once controlled photography was killed by the very technology it created. Here's the part most people don't know. Kodak didn't ignore digital photography. They didn't miss it. They didn't underestimate it. They invented it. And that makes what happened next far worse. In the 1970s, Kodak wasn't just successful, it was dominant. Photography didn't exist without Kodak. If you took a photo, Kodak made the film. If you developed it, Kodak processed it. If you shared it, Kodak profited. They didn't sell memories, they owned them. Inside Kodak, there was a saying, "You press the button, we do the rest." And for decades, that was true. Film was profitable, predictable, reliable, and it made Kodak one of the most powerful companies on earth. Then, in 1975, a Kodak engineer named Steven Sasson built something strange. It didn't use film, it didn't print photos, it didn't even look impressive, but it worked. The world's first digital camera. Sasson showed it to Kodak executives. The reaction wasn't excitement, it was fear. Because the first question they asked wasn't, "Is this revolutionary?" It was, "How long before this hurts film sales?" That question shaped everything. Kodak immediately understood the danger. Digital photography didn't just compete with film, it destroyed it. No film rolls, no developing, no recurring revenue. One device could replace an entire business model. So Kodak made a decision, not publicly, not dramatically, quietly. They would invent digital technology, but delay its adoption, protect film, protect margins, protect the legacy. And in doing so, they protected themselves into irrelevance. This is the innovator's dilemma in real life. When a company is so successful at the old model that adopting the new one feels like suicide. Kodak wasn't afraid of digital photography. They were afraid of success ending. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Kodak kept improving digital technology. They had patents, they had prototypes, they had a massive head start. But every innovation was filtered through one question. Does this protect film? If the answer was no, it slowed down or disappeared. Meanwhile, competitors without legacy profits had no fear. They didn't need to protect film. They didn't have anything to lose, so they moved faster. Kodak believed being first was enough. It wasn't, because innovation doesn't reward invention, it rewards execution. And Kodak refused to fully execute on the future it created. Internally, this created confusion. Engineers pushed forward, leadership pulled back. The company knew digital was inevitable, just not on their watch. Kodak tried compromises, hybrid products, half-digital solutions, digital cameras that still pushed printing. They wanted the future, as long as it behaved like the past. It didn't. By the early 2000s, digital photography exploded. Consumers didn't want prints. They wanted speed, convenience, sharing. Photos became disposable. Film became friction. And Kodak's entire identity was built on friction. This is where fear took control. Kodak executives weren't blind. They saw the numbers, but embracing digital fully meant admitting something painful, that their most profitable product was also their biggest liability. So they hesitated. And hesitation is fatal in fast-moving markets. While Kodak debated, others committed. Digital cameras improved, smartphones arrived, social media changed how memories were shared. Photography stopped being an event, it became a habit. Kodak was built for events. By the time Kodak tried to pivot aggressively, it was too late. The brand still existed, but the relevance didn't. Film sales collapsed, digital margins were thin. Competitors had already won mindshare. Kodak wasn't failing because it didn't see the problem. It was losing because it was logical. Every decision made sense in isolation. Protect profits, avoid cannibalization, delay disruption. But strategy isn't about protecting today. It's about surviving tomorrow. In 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. A company that once defined photography was reduced to a lesson in business schools. Not for failing to innovate, but for innovating too early and being too afraid to follow through. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Being first doesn't matter. Being right doesn't matter. What matters is whether you're willing to destroy your own success before someone else does. Kodak wasn't. Kodak didn't lose the future. They locked it away. Because the future threatened the past, and the past paid better. This is why first movers still lose. Because invention creates possibility, but courage creates survival. And Kodak chose safety. Kodak's story isn't about cameras, it's about fear. Fear of cannibalization, fear of uncertainty, fear of letting go. And fear doesn't stop disruption, it just delays acceptance.